Nas is one of the most prolific and respected rappers of all time. He's known for his poetic lyrics and his unique flow. Nasty Nas has been a part of the hip-hop community for over 2 decades now, and his impact can be seen in the way that younger artists are making music today. Nas was born in 1973 and lived in the Queensbridge houses, one of the largest housing projects in New York City.
Exactly.
We're in the biggest projects in America, Queensbridge, USA. That's in Queens, New York, the birthplace of Nas, of course. You know what I mean? I'm looking at my old window over there, bugging out a little bit.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? This is where it all started at, though. You know.
He was raised by his mother, who was a singer, and his father, who was a jazz musician. Nas began rhyming at the age of 9, and he's released his first album, Illmatic, in 1994. Since then, Nas has released 9 more studio albums and has sold over 25 million records worldwide. In 2012, he was inducted into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. What up, y'all? It's your boy Z6 Stylish for Black Rose TV, and in this video, we explore the life of Nasty Nas. Nasir bin Oludara Jones was born September 14, 1973, in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York. His father, Oludara, is a jazz musician from Mississippi. His mother, Ann Jones, was a postal worker from North Carolina. As a young child, Nas and his family relocated to Queensbridge houses in the borough of Queens, a public housing project in the Long Island City neighborhood of Queens.
So what up? This is where we used to hang out, you know what I mean? This is my building right here. It used to look different though. It used to look all toe up out here. They try to clean it up a little something, you know what I mean? Right here, 4016, that's where I used to live.
The projects contain 29 buildings and 3,142 units accommodating approximately 6,000 people in 2 separate complexes, north and south. This was the largest housing projects in North America. His parents divorced in 1985 and he dropped out of school in 8th grade. Well, really the first year of high school, so really around like the early year in 9th grade. Nas started his creative journey by creating scripts, short stories, and comics. His neighbor, Willie Ill Will Graham, influenced his interest in hip-hop by playing him hip-hop records. Nas's mother was very hard-working, most of the time working long hours to keep her and her children off the street. When he told his mother he wanted to be a rapper, she wasn't too pleased initially, but she came around eventually and supported him by giving him money to go get some studio time. As a teenager, Nas enlisted his best friend and upstairs neighbor, Willie Ill Will Graham, as his DJ. Ill Will would later lose his life tragically to gun violence. Nas's brother, Jungle, was also there when the incident occurred and got hit in the leg.
May 23rd, 1992, Ill Will got killed, yeah.
The neighborhood was shocked.
When they said Will got shot, I was like, nah, not him.
He was like one of our best friends since the beginning of time.
It took a lot out of a lot of people, and I think it took more so a lot out of Nasir because they were like brothers.
When Willie passed, I was afraid of Nasir straying from his path.
In his home, here is his close friend and his brother, you know, being shot.
I really expected him to just go straight downhill from there.
Nas at first went by the nickname Kid Wave, before adopting his more commonly known alias Nasty Nas. In 1989, the then 16-year-old Nas met up with producer Large Professor and went to the studio where Rakim and Kool G Rap were recording their albums. When they weren't recording in the studio, Nas would go into the booth and record his own material. However, none of it was ever released. In mid-1992, Nas was approached by MC Search of Third Base, who became his manager and secured Nas a record deal with Columbia Records during the same year. Nas made the intro into his solo career under the name Nasty Nas on the single Halftime from MC Search's soundtrack for the film Zebrahead in 1994. Nas's debut album Illmatic was released, which didn't sell very well because it lacked the type of mainstream pop type records that, Nas wasn't really used to making back then. That album birthed several singles like The World Is Yours, It Ain't Hard to Tell, and Love One. Shaheem Reid of MTV News called Illmatic the first classic LP of 1994. Nas soon parted ways with manager MC Search, enlisted Steve Stout, and began getting ready for his second album, It Was Written, which featured a hit song, If I Ruled the World, that skyrocketed his career. In late 1998, Nas began working on a double album, I Am, the autobiography. He wanted the same album to be the middle ground between Illmatic and It Was Written, with each track detailing part of his journey in life. The lead single off that album was Nas's Light, and the second single, Hate Me Now, featuring Diddy, aka Puffy, we know him, P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him. Nas even wrote and starred in the classic Hype Williams movie, Belly. Nas has finally proved to his mother that he can make it without school.
Nas's mother, Ann, passed April 7, 2002.
Nas was there when she passed away. He had called out to her, and she opened her eyes again, and then she took her last breath. She died in his arms.
So Nas was like, I want to make everything that she ever dreamed of in me all come through.
Nas has had his fair share of beefs throughout the years and throughout his career. He sparred with MCs like Cormega, Cameron, Jim Jones, and most notoriously, Jay-Z. After trading bars on various songs, freestyles, and mixtape appearances, the highly publicized dispute between Nas and Jay-Z became widely known to the public in about 2001. Jay-Z in his song Takeover criticized Nas's style by calling him fake and his career lame. Nas responded with Ether, in which he compared Jay-Z to characters like J.J. Evans from the show Good Times and the cigarette company mascot Joe Camel. On June 15, 1994, Nas's ex-fiancée Carmen Brown gave birth to their daughter Destiny. She later confessed to Nas that she had a relationship with his then rival and nemesis Jay-Z, also accusing Jay-Z of putting subliminal messages in his lyrics about their relationship together, causing an even bigger beef between the two men. Nas' beef with Cameron started when Nas was removed from the 2001 Summer Jam lineup because he allegedly planned to perform the song Ether while fake lynching fake Jay-Z in the background, which, that sounds like a big no-no. So they got Cameron on board to replace him, and Nas was salty about that. Nas went ahead and went on Power 105 Radio and threw shade at Cameron by saying his lyrics are cool because Cameron's album Come Home With Me whack. Cameron heard about what Nas said and responded by going to Hot 97 Radio and performing a freestyle diss aimed at Nas over Nas's beat Hate Me Now. This beef soon died down and they since squashed it officially in about 2014. Jay-Z and Nas have also reconciled way back in 2005 when they performed on stage together. Nas is considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. His lyrical prowess and storytelling abilities are unparalleled. If you're a fan of hip-hop or just music in general, please make sure you like this video. It's your boy Z6 Stylish. I'm out of here.
Nasir Jones, who I am, you know what I'm saying? Nas is who they started calling me at a young age. It's hard to pronounce the name Nasir. From Nasir with Nas, and the Nas went Nasty Nas when people found out that I knew how to rhyme. Once they found out I knew how to rhyme, I got a deal. So what up? This is where we used to hang out, you know what I mean? This is my building right here. It used to look different though. It used to look all toe up out here. They tried to clean it up a little something, you know what I mean? Right here, 4016, that's what we used to get bent on these benches over here. It's a while out. We had this whole block locked. We used to hustle over there, you know what I'm saying? Growing up here was just a whole community. This is where the beginning of it all to me, man, you know what I'm saying?